Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this Sunday morning, 8th of December, 2024? 2024 winds down, and what do we have? Well, let's talk about Syria real quick. I'm sorry, but America needs to stop celebrating when dictators fall in the Middle East. Because when these Islamists take over, they introduce Sharia law. When the dictators fall, they introduce Sharia law. And you end up having enemies against Israel. The dictators are the ones who allow Christians, Jews to live within their country because they're the dictator. Nobody rises up to challenge them. So if you have a group of Islamists saying they don't want something, this dictator see it as a threat to his power, so he eliminate it. So Muslims, Christians, and Jews stay in the same country. Look what happened to Iraq after Saddam Hussein failed. Look what happened. Jews started being murdered in Iraq. Christians started being murdered in Iraq. And they turned to Islamists. ISIS raised as well. So when you see these people and they're like, yay, Islam, we got Islamist terrorists are gone, disposed of the dictator. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because it's not going to turn out good for America. Afghanistan, the Taliban, ISIS. See, these people come and the void they fulfill ain't a good one. They fulfill a void of Islamist extremism. So that's a new enemy we got to fight. Because now they're going to go after their age-old enemy, Israel. That's what's going to happen. Sometimes my arms get tired doing that. Now, let's talk about here in American election integrity. Because that has to be talked about. That really has to be talked about. Because what happened here in North Carolina with this funny business, with these extra long voting hours, extra days after voting, if they cannot say absentee ballots, all absentee ballots have to be turned over 3 days or a week before the election day. If you're going to have absentee ballots, then you need to make sure they are postmarked 3 days before the election day. And when people get there in the morning, they need to start counting them. So by the end of the day, we know exactly who won. It shouldn't be a week, a whole month, and they still counting ballots, because that's cheating. Anybody who thinks that's not cheating is crazy. Anyone who thinks that's not a form of cheating, because here's what happens. The Republican is always ahead. Then the absentee ballots start rolling in and start being counted, and this county was counting them, then they got to send them, and it's always Democrat stronghold counties. Always these Democrat strongholds. Always. You don't find that funny at all? Every time we have an important election, it's always Democrat counties. It's Steele County. And let me say this. Democrats have perfected the art of cheating. All they have to do, let the national vote go wherever it goes. See, 2020, once a Democrat cheats one way, they see Republicans focusing on it, they move somewhere else. Now they're taking over local elections, state elections, like they did here in North Carolina. President Trump won, a few Republican congressmen win, but the rest Democrats blow out. Take the veto-proof majority. Still a Supreme Court seat. And the Republicans here in North Carolina, which way did they go, George? Which way did they go? Look at Arizona. Arizona went for Trump. Yay! How did Kari Lake lose? How did the other guy who was running, who was a veteran, had burns on him, but he lost? But Donald Trump won. If they know how to rig the election for the state races, Donald Trump still is fighting an uphill battle. Imagine if Kari Lake would have won. Then you would have had the other senator who had the burns on him would have won. You don't think that would have played a situation? Look what happened in Pennsylvania with those Democrats in that county said they still was going to count. You start seeing the Republican who was ahead start losing. He started losing votes to the point where they could have pulled some, but the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said, knock it off. Yes, the Republican Party needs a full court press. You just don't need a good starting five. You need some good reserves on the bench too to keep the score. Let's not forget the mayoral races, the governor races, lieutenant governors, and especially the attorney generals of the states are important. Republicans, you better get a plan.